Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2. It was a long weekend. I sort of forgot that Monday was a federal holiday here in America. And so Elise was off and I spent the day with her instead of recording. So apologies, but also I had a really good time and I would absolutely do it again. It's good to have vacation days, you know? Alright, we are doing stuff. We are securing Vampire Town. Right now the dwarves are being very difficult, but if we finish off the securing of Vampire Town and they still haven't budged on the alliance thing, we will then be in actual hard control of 6 of the 8 cities on our list. And we'll have nothing to do up north, so probably what we will do from there is just march back down south, get some armies near Karaz-Karak, get some armies near Karak 8 Peaks, and then move Krepus and probably another army that we recruit down here over into position to blitz the Badlands, and we'll just take everything by force. There would be massive consequences to doing so, but our game will end the moment we finish it, so who cares? Those can be some other lizard's consequences. So, what are we doing this turn? Well, first of all, boy, I sure hope that Tilian army doesn't take Karag Dromar. Let's move Krupkar as far over there as possible. I mean, it's not like we need to control the whole province here, especially since this is a naturally, not a naturally high corruption area or anything, but it would be nice to have the whole province. And then, where else are we at? You don't really need to sit around anymore. You can go and get Oakenhammer, and it looks like the Greenskins are about to be formally eliminated. And once they are, I'm gonna, like, we're gonna reach a point where we have nothing to do up here except pull the trigger on the vampires. And if the dwarves haven't come around by then we'll just declare war without them. And they will still like that, right? You just, like, go and start harassing. Oh, there is an army up here. Oh, they're right, that Wurzag army. I don't know what they think they're doing. So apparently, the person that or the faction that the vampires were at war against was... This is Talabek land? Yeah. This is just like one of the minor Empire factions that usually does not survive 150 turns into the game, but it seems like they're actually doing pretty well for themselves. Where are you guys on the power chart? Rank 21, 8 settlements. Not bad. Oh, you know what? We've been fighting universally hated people for such a long time. Yeah, we should check and see if anybody else is willing to give us trade agreements.
Yes.
I mean, I guess we could take a non-aggression pact with you as well. Who are you at war with? You're kind of one of the good guys. Yeah, sure.
Never.
Okay, well, never mind then. I'm always a little leery about taking pacts and treaties with too many people because you don't want to end up making your allies unhappy with you. Alright, they're not willing to do a trade agreement. Is there anybody else we could secure a quick trade agreement with, maybe? The Border Princes are still very fond of us. They might do it. It would be okay. Still not signing a non-aggression pact with them because there's a pretty good chance we're going to come down here and murder one of their settlements. And it looks like that is maybe it as far as additional trade agreements we could land. We could probably get one with Kislev if we had any way to connect our capital to theirs. Oh, Bretonia. Yeah, Bretonia might.
Do you wish the lady's favor? I will not.
Okay, well, I think we're trending upward with them, so we can check in with them every couple of turns. We'll probably end up with that. Okay, what was I doing? Right, you're on that. Who else needs orders? Krepus needs orders. Krepus needs to ride on these dudes, and they flee desperately into the desert. That's just embarrassing for them, really. Okay, we shouldn't have to manual this. This is like a pretty easy win. I'm going to hit that quick save button real quick. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot more damage than I think is warranted there. Alright, it's fine. He's in friendly territory and he has some replenishment boosts. They should... Yeah, he'll be back in fighting order in a pretty small amount of time. Let's just get over to the coast and get ready to fight these nerds. Okay, we have Ratok. What is the best way to get Ratok up to everybody else? I'm wondering if maybe the smart play here is actually to go through Dragonfire Pass at this point. I guess doing so is going to upset the Empire if we can't secure a military access treaty, which I don't think we will be able to. So, alright, we'll just send him up the way that the others went up. It's going to take him a while to reach the front. Yeah, certainly not ideal. And I'm pretty sure that we could have started moving him earlier. Ah, well. Let's just say I don't think that he will be necessary to our war effort. I think we probably have it under control. Alright, well, good try, Hextalk. And research. What are we doing? Like, hold on a second. Let's reassess the research situation. So you get some more recruit rank up, which is, you know, fine. Fine unless you think you've recruited your final warriors for the campaign, which it is actually possible we have. This stuff all looks pretty minor. 1 point of extra untainted corruption in every province is interesting, but we don't really need it at this point. All of our places where we're having problems with corruption, we've got the appropriate purple buildings. Plus 10 growth is good, plus 15 growth is even better, but we've mostly finished with our buildings. Yeah, it looks to me like we just want to continue down this Saurus line. It's like this stuff is all pretty minor. Plus 15 charge bonus for Carnosaurs is pretty interesting, actually. But yeah, let's get missile resistance and armor for Sauruses. And then the Temple Guard buffs somewhere around the time that our Temple Guards actually arrive. And I guess we don't need to move Tiktaq'to just yet. What do you think? Because next turn we take Oakenhammer and maybe Carrick-Dromar if it still belongs to the Greenskins. And then we're probably like a turn or two off of marching on Castle Drakenhof. And Tiktaq'to... I guess Tiktaq'to can go forward a little bit. We can move him to a position where he's like within a single move of Carrick-Cadron. And stay in encampment mode so you're not taking damage. Okay, I think we're just going to keep banking our money for the most part. Let me just turn off that notification type, actually. Settlement upgrade available off. Okay. We do want to keep an eye on a couple of our settlements, though. Mostly just Mount Gunbat. I want to get that gold mine up. And then in Jufbar, we need to make sure that we are getting the walls straightened up. Yeah, okay, everything's fine. Alright, let's see if the Tillians steal Carrick-Dromar from us. It just seems weirdly spiteful. Like, it's not a valuable settlement. It won't help them at all for them to own it. One garbage settlement out in the middle of everybody else's territory is not always even a net positive. But I bet they'll take it just to give me a harder time. I think you can see from like the patchwork nonsense that's going on down here that the AI does not think at all in terms of like settlement value or territorial cohesiveness or defensibility. It's just, hey, there's an empty thing, I'll take it. Sometimes, and other times, there's an empty thing, I definitely will not take it. And there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason between those two choices. Carrick-Cadron's going to try to get Oakenhold from us. Oakenhold? Oakenhammer? Oakenhammer. The first thing I thought was Oakenhammer, and then I was like, no, wait, I'm thinking of that dwarf from The Hobbit. Now I can't remember what his actual name is. Listen, it's the beginning of the week. My whole brain's a little rusty. I thought I turned the crank enough times before I started recording, but apparently not. That was supposed to be a joke about my brain being of poor quality and crank operated, but I realized now after saying it that it sort of sounds like I was talking about something else, which I totally wasn't. So one thing that might throw a wrench into our plans is if the Warriors of Chaos army that contains Archaon the Everchosen spawns, that will add another objective to our list, and I'm not sure exactly what prompts that to occur. I'm hoping that it won't happen until after we get our short campaign objective list completed. If it does, we may have to send armies northward to deal with him, because in my experience, the AI is very bad at taking him out, and him being in the wounded state is one of our campaign objectives. It is kind of weird that that's always on the list. They want 9,000 gold in exchange for a non-aggression pact. Absolutely not. What are you thinking? I wouldn't take that non-aggression pact for free, man. If they had offered me 9,000 gold, I probably would have gone for it. Okay, well, they take Carrick Dromar in a way that's kind of annoying, but I don't think it affects us too much. We can just have Krukgar's army turn north right there and head toward Schwarzhafen. Well, they just have dudes all over the place. Tilia's having a really good game, like a much better game than they have in some of our previous campaigns. I actually am curious if the way we've seen things work out here is the way they're going to tend to work out now with the new AI, or if we are seeing something really strange. Sort of makes me want to run another campaign right after this. No promises, we'll see. I kind of want to try out the new Skaven stuff, though. Okay, well, I'm sorry, Carrick Cadron, but you can't have Oakenhammer. This should, this should be an auto-resolve. Pretty trivial auto-resolve. So I'll take this. Oh, excellent. Yarrick is now a campaigner. This is maybe one of the best trades. I really, really like that. And that is the final Greenskin settlement, right? So now they just have this army, and it has, it has no home region. So I expect to see them wiped out during the next sequence of enemy turns, which is pretty great for us. And what else do we need to do? Like I said, you probably just end up going this way. We have to be a little careful because there's a lot of attrition in those vampire lands. So let's stop just on the friendly side of the border here. We can hit Schwarzhafen next turn potentially. I don't know. We can't see Yarrick's movement range because he has 0% movement left. I don't know that he'll be able to make Castle Drakenhof. It's not a big distance, but some of it is through mountain pass terrain, which, as you've seen, can tremendously slow movement. So next turn might be the turn. Alright, what do I think these guys are going to do? Do I need to do anything other than just go to Kofur? I guess it doesn't really help us to stop in Kofur. We'll put ourselves like halfway between Kofur and Lashiek. Play a little bit of zone defense here. Ratonk is going to very, very slowly bring all these advanced troops to the front. Alright, what are we looking at in terms of vampire armies here? Felix Barakmir has a single unit of Vargeists and nothing else that we have to worry very much about. Helman Gorst has, apparently, nothing that we have to worry very much about. Yeah, I guess really this harassment is more about getting XP than anything else. Let's definitely make you immortal. Hextalk, immortalized in song and legend for all those times that he tried to hinder people's replenishment, but hilariously failed. You know what? That's not fair. Hextalk is the one who was able to fight Grievous a bunch of times. He's done some good work. It's Uldo Morin who has spent his entire life failing over and over again. Alright, one last spite shot at the orcs. Because everybody loves it when we negatively affect the orcs. Alright, I'm not even going to try with the dwarves right now. Let's give them one more turn to adjust their opinion, and I'm hopeful here. If we are not able to talk them into a military alliance on this turn, I think we declare war on the vampires anyway, and then we just have a harder time talking them into the alliance, but as we fight the vampires, their opinion of us will probably continue to grow, and like I said, if we can never ever talk them around, we have a backup plan.
Quick.
What on earth is this? They would like a proper military alliance. I think I'm going to say no to this. Because I don't want them going, okay, well now, with my strength rank 1 friend, I am powerful enough to declare war on those dwarves. I know they're militarily allied with the dwarves, but you cannot trust the AI to behave in a campaign-sensible fashion here. It looks to me like a couple of these Corda Liberis armies are headed toward Schwarzhofen, and they'll totally get it, too. This is not one of those things where the AI is being stupid. They could take that if we don't take it on this next turn. We don't particularly need it. I'm not too stressed about it. Obviously, like, if you can capture whole provinces, that's valuable to do. So it would be cool if we're thinking we want to take Castle Tempelhof to just get the whole thing. Oh, I think that was a von Karstein over there. Like, potentially a real dangerous vampire. One thing I do want to say is that a lot of the Vampire Count army will not be effective against our Air Force strategy, but we do have to care about the vampires themselves still. They're powerful wizards, and also extremely effective melee fighters. A vampire can mess an army up pretty badly, sometimes by themselves, especially the Legendary Lord vampires. So, like, the battles against the vampires are maybe still a foregone conclusion. Like, I think they're going to have a really hard time against our strategy, but we got to be careful about losses. They may not be a foregone conclusion a couple of times in a row. I mean, they really are going to have such a hard time, such a hard time dealing with the Pterodon Riders, though. Everybody has a really hard time dealing with the Pterodon Riders. Yet another military alliance negotiated. This whole part of the world is feeling really friendly and eager to ally with everyone except me. Okay, the Tillians finished off the Greenskins. That was nice of them. I was kind of hoping I was going to get to do it, though. And with that great big vampire army in it, Schwarzhofen will stand for now. We'll see. I think Kroggar might still be in position to win that fight. At this rate, we may not get to see Grimlock at all, or if we do, he might only be present for, like, the final battle against the dwarves who refuse to ally with us. I don't remember what the situation between the dwarves and the border princes is. It's possible that they're militarily allied, and if they are, then the situation in the Southern Badlands is still kind of weird. I don't know, that's a real tomorrow problem. Oh, right, we're working on this. Okay, we just have to win 2 more battles. Well, that is going to happen. So, first things first. Diplomacy. Hey, dwarves. Who's feeling totally reasonable?
Welcome.
We are at 394 positive opinion here. I will join your war against these vampires. That actually makes it... No, it didn't affect anything at all. Never mind. Over 200,000 gold. Think about how big the pile of gold in your vault would be, because we both know they're not actually going to, like, use it on anything. They just want to hoard it. Still no, huh? Alright, well, that's a shame. I do think this is the turn we go. Can you reach Drakenhof right now? You can. And Drakenhof's defenses... Let's see, they do have 4 units of Vargeists. That is a thing to worry about. What is in my army? We don't have a ton of ranged, aside from the Fire Leech Bullets, because why would we? Those Vargeists are actually going to be a little bit of a danger I think Vargeists are large, so, yes, they are large entities. So I guess the salamanders will be useful against them if they try anything. Yep, I think this is the turn. Let's go ahead and declare.
Thy words, and pray to thine pitiful little gods.
Actually, hold on a second. Who else are they at war with? Nobody that we really want anything from. I was just thinking we could maybe offer to enter the war on someone else's behalf and negotiate something out of them, like maybe the Empire would give us military access in exchange, but they're not at war with anybody interesting.
Do not underestimate the danger.
Sorry, he was telling me something about not underestimating something or other being a slow and insidious killer, I'm sure. Sounds like a real tomorrow kind of problem. Let's get in here and take over some vampire castles. Right, see in siege for a second. I don't think that we have anybody... Yeah, we don't have anybody anywhere nearby. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, okay, we can just do this. Let us claim Castle Drakenhof. Ooh, they have a Terrorgeist. And 5 units of Vargeist. So a Terrorgeist is a scary undead dragon. Obviously, you've seen the dragons don't fare terribly well against a couple units of salamanders. Let's hope that's enough. Yarick is very close to being a good spellcaster. Oh, remember, we did take all of the skill points in Yarick's anti-flyer skill. We actually do have an extremely relevant spell here. If we can bait their flyers out into the field. So I think my plan is probably going to be... We march up on one of the walls, the way we often have. And we start working over their control of the gate with our flyers. Try to keep the flyers... We don't want to like rush deep into the territory. We want to keep our flyers near the wall. Try to bait their flyers forward. And if they don't go for it, then we will have to crack the base, because we actually have to keep our ground forces near the flyers. We can't push forward without the salamanders. I'm sure the ranged attacks from the stegodons will also be useful. Alright, so we got ourselves a little dead zone. I think this is... And there's no dead zone on this side. They actually built the towers all the way to the wall, which is what they should always do. So yeah, I think this is probably the way we want to do this. Everybody just cram yourselves up against the side, you know, the way we always do. That's okay. There we go. Being very finicky about where it's actually going to let me set those guys up. Oh yeah, Yarick himself probably should be over here in a place where he's not going to get torn apart by tower fire. Okay. Not exactly rocket science. This is a thing we've done once or twice in the past. So, things we have to be concerned about. Number 1, Graveguard. Graveguard are actually pretty good infantry. They're probably going to be able to do some good work against the sources. Number 2, of course, they have these great big terrifying Vargulf monsters. I'm honestly not that worried about the monsters. Our salamanders do have limited ammunition, so they're not going to be able to kill everything we would want them to kill. We might want to actually be a little careful with them on account of the flyers being a problem. It is worth noting that none of these are ranged attack flying units. They're all melee. I think this thing has some basic dragon breath that it can do. Turn on the unit card real quick here. Yeah, okay, it has 3 charges of Death Shriek. But for the most part, they're going to have to engage us on the ground, so it's not like our lack of ranged troops is going to make us completely unable to kill them. And Black Knights are just very good cavalry. They're going to be particularly dangerous against with lances, I think. Particularly dangerous against the monsters. Oh, they don't actually have anti-large. Okay. So not particularly dangerous against the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs should do just fine. There's a necromancer over there who should be pretty easy to kill, but he's going to have powerful magic until we kill him. And they have a death vampire on the wall who is also a powerful wizard. Ah, that's weird. I thought I grabbed you. There we go. It's so weird. Like, I'm telling them to stay in the same formation they're in, right? And it works right up until you drag them anywhere near anything, and then all of a sudden the formation explodes like this. Like, how does that make any sense? In what way is that like the thing that you're doing right now? We're gonna get magicked on. That's just gonna happen. It's a shame. And keep an eye on those flyers. We should be out of this tower. Yeah, we're out of that tower's area already, so we're only going to take a little bit of fire as we move in. But this is going to happen. Not a lot we can do about it. It just is crappy. Okay, it looks like their flyers have no interest in coming forward. So what we want to do here is work out the Graveguard a little bit. Oh, they have some Cairn Wraiths over here as well. Scythe Infantry. Cairn Wraiths are fine. They're not terribly terrifying. Very good against physical damage, which almost doesn't matter against my army at all. So they have no real ranged things. What is this that's happening here? Is this magic? They should have almost no attacks. That must be a spell graphic. I don't know what spell that is though. Let's try to get another drop off right here. The Cairn Wraiths and the Graveguard are the only. They immediately opened the gate. If the AI would ever open the gate and actually run out to fight your units in the field, I think we'd be in a lot worse of a position. Kinda. There we go. They ran onto it. Okay, we did a little bit. And those flyers. They do have another unit of Cairn Wraiths over here. Okay. So the tower can still hit you guys. Get further in here. They did temporarily open the gate. I want to get a little bit more damage done in here before we bash the gate open, but this is definitely a battle where we can afford to do that at some point. We don't have to wait in here. Oh, those green projectiles are my skirmishers. My skirmishers shooting up at the things on the wall. Okay, I'm gonna turn off fire at will for these guys. I don't actually want them shooting. We are going to need their ammunition. Let's have a couple of units focus up on the Cairn Wraiths. And in fact, I'm going to have a couple of units run over and do some work on those Cairn Wraiths as well. And then you guys can just, I guess, focus on Graveguard. Well, we should probably try to clear the wall, right? Let's focus on the Graveguard that are near the towers. And just continuously peek back here and look at those flying units. I'm absolutely confident that we can deal with the Graveguard with our dinosaurs and stuff if it comes right down to it. I just want to make sure that we get these Cairn Wraiths under control. We're probably pretty close here, to the point where we just bash the gate open. Going to make it a little bit easier for their Black Knights to get in. But then this army is probably going to have a pretty safe couple of turns where they're just hanging out in this castle and not being attacked by vampire armies, because there aren't any vampire armies terribly nearby. So I guess it doesn't really matter if we get torn up as long as we win. Alright, as soon as this unit of Graveguard is dead, I think... Oh, no, this unit of Graveguard is also helping to hold the tower. Well, starting on those guys then. I want this tower clear. I don't want to take a bunch of tower damage as we're walking over to the gate, if that is avoidable. Let's maybe get some rocks in here. I don't know what we're saving them for. Like, I was thinking, you know what, they have some more dangerous stuff, and like the Black Knights probably will not take a ton of damage from... Look at them actually trying to avoid the rock drop. These are by far the smartest enemies we've ever fought. But the Black Knights are probably not going to be terribly vulnerable to the normal projectiles just because they're very heavily armored and tough. There we go. Okay, that was alright. Alright, I suppose we're in a position here where we can go and knock. So now the question is, do we want to start saving ammunition? Because the explosive fire projectiles will be useful against the Vargeists. Do we stop shooting at things now that the stuff behind the gate is mostly pretty damaged? I think the answer to that is yes. I'm going to turn off fire at will and maybe pull these guys back a little bit. Well, hold on. Don't pull them in front of the gate, or in front of the wall, because it looks like somehow they're getting control of this tower again, despite the fact that they don't have any bodies in the control box. Okay. That was the control of the tower falling, not going up. Oh, right, the skinks on the back of the ancient stegodon shoot those green projectiles as well. Okay, in straight monster versus monster combat, I think we have a pretty significant advantage. The Vargulf is not great at the thing that it does, and it has serious leadership issues, and if you remember how these undead units work, leadership issues are health issues for them. I was really hoping to keep this tower uncontrolled, but they put a lot of bodies up there. Alright, let's get ready for the breach. We could try to chase them off with the rest of the ammo from the flyers. It's certainly not zero value. I don't know if it's high enough value for us to actually worry about it. And we do want to maintain at least some of this ammunition. That gate is going down very quickly. What are you guys doing over here? Alright, well, they've done a lot of damage. I guess it's the best we're gonna get. We did use 100% of the rocks owned by those two units. Alright, gate down. So, we definitely want to kill their lord and their hero as quickly as possible. But we're gonna have to kill the Vargulfs first, I think. It's not a great idea to ignore them. They can do quite a bit of damage. I'm gonna have my two dinosaurs just run in here and have at them. Alright. Let's see if this works. Trying to get the sources to come. There we go. I'm not saying that they necessarily need to immediately engage the Vargulfs in combat, but they definitely need to get through the wall. Right, the other unit of flyers over there ran out of ammo. I'm keeping an eye on the minimap here. Wow, he just laid that Vargulf all the way out. Holy crap, I didn't even realize that Vargulfs could get knocked down. That's not a thing you see happen very often. So you can see that initial charge, like, they actually did quite a bit of damage there. Yeah, I'm shocked at the amount of damage we're taking. Alright, hold up. Back up, back up, back up. The Blessed Stegodon is doing just fine. Hey, buddy. Get over here and turn around. Yeah, he's taking like a weird amount of damage. Get through here. Okay, so we're saving some Winds of Magic for the Tempest, and I do think that's still a good idea, but maybe we want to commit something here. Overcast this, it's an area spell, and it's still not terribly expensive. Getting a little bit of fire through the gate. Okay, that's better. Things are going better here. Shoot that guy with all your stuff. So you can see his leadership is falling. He's already starting to crumble a little bit. Yeah, they're not terribly tough. They're good damage dealers, but they're like very glass cannon-y for a big monster. Keep pushing through, guys. They're both tired. they're both tired of melee. They both need a second. Alright, you guys still try to get through to here. Okay, they're trying to arc shots over. I think that's mostly frustration that we're seeing there on the part of the salamanders. Not like these are actually good shots. Okay, so he should be dead pretty soon. You get that necromancer. Don't let him escape. Alright, as soon as the Vargulf's down... Actually, we don't need to wait. It's doing that thing again. Okay, I just want to tell my salamanders to get on the other side of the gate. It's so weird how that causes a massive frame rate loss. It definitely shouldn't. So as you might imagine, Necromancer not actually a very effective combatant. Yeah, the Necromancer was slain by the Sauruses in an instant. Vampires can be spec'd to be good melee combatants, but the legendary character vampires are definitely better than the hero vampires. Okay, they're starting to bring in the rest of their force here. About time. And here come the knights. Still no movement on the flyers, though. Really strange. Okay, well, I think we can spare some ammunition for the knights since we took out the Vargulfs, so hardly using any. We could probably burn them down very quickly. In fact, I'm going to have you disengage. Yeah, this guy is basically dead. Critical binding. You stay on him, but yeah, I think he's done for. Okay, the rest of my melee troops. There is still a unit of Saurus warriors on the other side of the wall. And these skirmishers need to get through here so they can actually do some shooting. And I think this is probably the time when these guys should start to come over. They're not going to be able to actually get through the gate just yet, but they should start coming over at least. Right, so that's only damage resistance for him. These Graveguard are losing decisively. They tried to get into my artillery. They thought that was going to be a strategy, and I get where they're coming from on that. Ordinarily, that's a pretty good play, but the Salamanders are remarkably competent at melee combat for an artillery unit. Okay, so we got a Black Knight charge directly into the Salamanders, which is actually bad. The thing I care about a little bit. You can see here these Blessed Saurus warriors have rampaged, and they are, they're dead for sure, right? There's no way they make it out of this situation. But they're going to provide some more decent damage while they're fighting, and then we have the knights trapped against the wall, so the spears are going to make short work of them. I think this is all good. You just need to stay on those dudes. So we need the salamanders to back up this way, I think, is what we should be hoping for. Maybe not quite that far. Alright, and Yarick does not know how to fight, obviously. Let's do another one of these. Let's just have all of the melee units over here. Not you. Everybody just do your best to squeeze through and fight these Black Knights. These Black Knights are, by a large margin, the most dangerous thing that we are still fighting. These ones are extremely contained, and you can see they're getting torn apart by the spears. Alright, shoot as soon as you got an opening. I mean, they made it through the gate remarkably quickly there. Keep an eye on the mini-map. We still are not seeing any movement from the flyers. You know, if it's just them, if it's just the flyers left, they're not going to actually be able to accomplish very much against us. They needed to be part of a sort of a combined arms attack. Alright, the skink skirmishers are unfortunately in melee a little bit. It's not really where we want them to be. And you can see, like, we're taking a significant amount of damage. You've seen these Sauruses stand through a lot of nonsense. These vampire units that we're fighting, they're good at fighting. They're just not good enough. Right, you guys aren't really accomplishing anything over here. Just back up. But their morale is broken. They wish to not be fighting anymore. Unfortunately for them, there's only one way that that happens. Gotta back the salamanders out a little bit. So we need some focus on this Graveguard over here. Did that vampire get away? Where is that vampire? Oh, the vampire is... Is that her in there? No, those are just Graveguard. Because they're definitely still casting lightning bolts at us. But they shouldn't... I don't think they have a spellcaster alive. How are they doing that? It might be a thing of their defensive building. Most of the defensive structures, once they're leveled up enough, give you some additional defensive like ability or spell that you can cast. It's definitely not me shooting all that lightning. Looks like these guys are about done. Turns out the dinosaurs do the work. You can put a little bit of fire into the Cairn Wraiths. It's not necessary, never mind. It doesn't matter that they're very resistant to physical damage if my troops scare them to death. Still no movement from the Flyers. We might win this battle before the Flyers even come into play. Which is kind of wild. Let's set the Blessed Stegodon and these guys up right here. A little bit of a traffic jam with the dinosaurs. Interesting. He's not showing his attack range anymore. He definitely should be. Sorry, not you guys. The reasonably healthy units of Sauruses. I guess, you know what, all the melee troops can just kind of run over here. We'll figure it out. I'm not going to try any fancy flanking maneuvers or anything. Let's get Poison over here as well. And of course, Yarrick, stay nearby. Yeah, you could just run in there too. We'll do another Foz protection as soon as actual battle is joined. And we have rocks as well. Oh, you know what? We could probably put these guys back on. Fire at will. Go ahead, do your worst. You have enough ammo left for the rest of the battle, I think. Just grab a couple of dudes who still have rocks. We can shorten this part. I really thought they were coming to fight us then. Maybe they're just trying to fall back to the city center. Well, let's interrupt that escape a little bit. Nope, now that they've taken a huge amount of damage, now they're thinking they want to engage in melee combat with us. Get out ahead of them. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. I think we've got it under control. Sauruses are just, like, they're way too good. I guess that's a big part of the mechanical identity of this army, and so you couldn't really take it away without replacing it with something else. But they should probably do something about the strength of the heavy infantry, and then use the sort of reduction in overall power to give the Lizardmen some more cool units. Like, salamanders are neat, and the dinosaurs are okay, but the dinosaurs are like... There's a lot of different types of dinosaurs, and they don't feel all that different in application to me, you know? Okay, so we're about to see something happen here. If an army has no non-flying units, their flying units start to suffer serious leadership penalties until they land and engage in, like, melee combat. So, once the final Graveguard here die off, I think we should see something start to happen. Wait a minute. These guys are technically not dead, sorry. Alright, once these guys are gone, the flyers will have to come over here and engage. So I'm just going to try to set up for that, I think. Try to make sure nobody is too terribly far forward. Okay, I guess what they weren't running away. They thought they were executing a flanking maneuver. This would be a pretty effective strategy, like in a real battle maybe, but I can see everything from the sky, which somewhat limits the effectiveness of an attack like this. Okay, he was setting up, you know, you gotta crouch down for a second, really gather power in your haunches. It's like Super Mario 2. You want to really leap into battle. You gotta spend a second crouching for it. Okay, looks like they're just about done for. Salamanders extremely wasting ammunition. Hey guys, I guess I don't care. They have a ton of ammo. You guys can probably back up now, actually. I think the damage has been significant enough. Okay. Now they literally don't have any non-flying units. Nope, they still don't care. Okay, what's the best angle to attack from? Do we want to come down this street? I guess the main thoroughfare is a little wider. Let's go this way. Yeah, you know, all the ground troops just sort of over to here, I guess is the play. Salamanders, it'd be cool if we could set up somewhere hereabouts. The other flying units nearby. Yarrick, of course, needs to make sure he's up there. So what is the range on Tempest? It's going to dramatically slow them, do major magical damage. It affects every enemy within 150 meter range of the targeted enemy. Oh, I did not remember how slowly Yarrick moves. It's going to take him a million years to get over here. Maybe we need to target this on the closest enemy instead. They don't seem to be responding to our setup maneuver at all, though. Which is kind of wild. Like, what is the plan here exactly? Why would you just not engage at any point during the battle? We could probably speed this up a little bit then. Alright, let's see what Tempest actually looks like. Wow, that is major magical damage. That starts dealing a lot of damage very, very quickly. And they're seriously just gonna stand there. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not really inclined then to do anything other than, like, fast forward and cast it again, right? It's even quite cheap. As you don't run into enemies that have flying units all that often, so it's not a very valuable overall spell. Give him one. Oh, here we go. Something happening? Oh, interesting. You cast it on a unit, but it doesn't stay attached to that unit like, say, crows would. They did sort of fly back into it. I mean, if they're just gonna not come forward, I'm gonna do it one more time. There's no reason not to, right? good on Creative Assembly for doing a campaign AI pass, but they very seriously need to do a battle AI pass as well, it seems. Yeah, sure, right there. And maybe wipe these guys out entirely. And for some reason, the Vargeist don't even try to move out of it. And if anything, the dragon's moving closer. He's really enjoying it. It's very refreshing, you know? Okay. I think we just broke their morale? I think the third cast of Tempest totally killed them. They're all crumbling now. Well, okay, they're crumbling very slowly. We could probably just sit here and watch, but I guess let's, like, do the thing. Alright, dinosaurs front and center. We will not have enough winds to cast that again. I think we can probably tear through the Vargeists pretty quickly. Oh, especially if they all group up. First Death Scream. Alright, like I said, it's sort of whatever. Alright, let's have the Salamanders refocus here. The Pterodons can stay on the other guys. And you fool, now that you've landed. I mean, I guess he's a melee unit. What's he supposed to do? Everybody get him. I can't even tell, like, usually you can tell which units are the vampire units pretty easily because they're the ones that are gross and meaty and covered in blood. But at this point, everybody in the whole army is sort of gross and meaty and covered in blood. That was a really disappointing showing for them. Look, I'm not going to try to tell you that Battle AI is easy to program or anything. I'm not here to dunk on the designers, but, like, that's a thing they should fix, right? The performance that we witnessed in that battle, that shouldn't work like that. I don't know how you design, like, a cohesive battle strategy AI, though. It's easy enough, or maybe not easy enough, but it's certainly a solved problem to do little things like know which local unit to attack. But in terms of executing a battle strategy, like knowing when it is time to pull the flyers forward and stuff, that would be pretty tough. And I'm not even capable of doing it all the time, so I guess I can only be upset with them so much. So we know that they have another large army in Schwarzhafen. But I think those are the only two vampire armies we've seen in the area, right? So it may be the case. I guess we know that Helmengorst is sort of nearby, but vampire armies do not have access to the underway, so it would be a lot of movement for him to catch up to us. And I think we just want to occupy it. I'm not too worried about money. Like, I know we're offering the dwarves a lot of money. Oh, you should definitely become immortal. I know we're offering the dwarves a lot of money as part of our strategy to get them to get on side. Oh wow, look at this! It's already built up, like, very close to the way I would have chosen to build it up. But the primary thing that's changing of value in our relationship with the dwarves is not the money; it's their opinion of us continuing to creep northward. Okay, so what does this look like? Manfred von Karstein is truly terrifying. He is probably simultaneously one of the best wizards and one of the best melee combatants in the game, and he is mounted on a flying Hellsteed. And his army contains a lot of very powerful units. He has 4 Terrorgeists, 2 Vargulfs. I'm not sure that I want to send Krukgar in against that. The settlement garrison would provide no assistance to him at all, but that might be an overwhelming numbers kind of situation. Yeah, I mean, we have the salamanders. The salamanders might be able to help us. We do have Lord Croak, but Lord Croak can at least blow up some Graveguard. And while the Graveguard are heavily armored, they are not magic resistant like dwarves, so expect it to be more effective against these guys than it was against the dwarves, where it was already pretty effective. Yeah, but I'm wondering if maybe we don't push forward by ourselves. Alright, I think Castle Drakenhof probably ought to get a proper wall building up. If I was going to change anything here, I probably would remove the blood shrines. Because I think in that slot we want the other purple dinosaur building, and that still gives the untainted. Oh no, never mind, the blood shrines are totally the one I want. Yeah, okay. This area is just like really, really well constructed. We'll throw down a salamander enclosure as well. And then we'll probably, I'll probably remove the star chamber for a weapon crafter's commune. Yeah. Alright, not bad. Okay, let's do another vampire battle. Let's do this one. Ooh, actually, he might not quite be able to engage. Okay, well, we could probably lightning strike Felix Barrackmere outside of the settlement. It looks like we're predicted to win this battle pretty massively. Let's do the lightning strike, and as dumb as this is, as not an effective use of our time as this is, we're going to do it manually because I don't want to take any damage at all on our melee troops if we can avoid it here. So we have another big battle coming up. So he has 1 unit of Black Knights, 1 unit of Vargheists. It's mostly just ground-pounding infantry, which are terrible against us. He does have... these Crypt Horrors are a little bit faster. They're monstrous infantry. We don't really have to worry about them either, though. And, like, even if these Graveguard are the sword and shield kind, so, like, they're going to be completely ineffective against a Carnosaur. This should be a pretty easy battle. We should not take any meaningful damage here. We do better than that? Yes, we can. Alright, so we don't need to apply a ton of strategy here. Let's just set up the little bit of melee, like we want to go... that. Design that so that the skinks are in the middle. You guys right here, we gotta be wary of the Black Knights attempting to execute a charge on the Salamanders, which is absolutely going to happen. So we'll keep the Carnosaurs on one side, and these guys on the other. And then, I think we're good. What are they casting on me? Trickster Shard. Trickster Shard on my Pterodon Riders? I mean, okay. You're allowed to do that. I don't know why you would do that, but you're allowed to. Let's start by taking out the only one of their units that can threaten our units. Their lord is a Strigoi vampire, which I believe is not really a spellcaster. This is a much more like orky, kind of rip and tear sort of vampire lord. So I'm not too worried about him. They do have a hero over here, a White King on a mount. These guys are pretty powerful melee combatants, but, like, who cares? The big part of the problem with our army composition, from the enemy's perspective. There's an awful lot of who cares going on. Oh, I should definitely pull the chameleon skinks back. You guys move forward. We'll figure this out. I don't know exactly what our play is here yet. I think let's start with, actually... Let's start with a Manticore. We'll just throw a Manticore at these guys to keep them in place. Actually, they're not fighting back at all. There we go. There we go. We could have used the Ripperdactyls for this, but I want them healthy for the next battle. So actually, you guys fall back. Let the Manticore engage, and then we'll fight them from there. And after the Manticore is all the way out of the ground... Okay, good enough. Let's kill this lord. You may as well drop some of your spheres here. Yeah, I mean, you're on him. You got him. And we may as well have the salamander packs just start in on these guys immediately. It looks like the other Black Knights are this guy immediately. The other Black Knights have some other ideas. Not too worried about them flanking around on us. Okay, we'll cant the spearmen this way a little bit. And the Carnosaur is just going to wait here for that engagement. I don't want him to be the person who actually gets charged. You, back up. Okay, the Manticore will grab their attention. And we have the rest of these units turn around and start shooting at him again. And yet their lord is not doing so hot. Cavalry up here. These guys have regeneration, and like most things that have regeneration, they are particularly vulnerable to fire. Seems like an okay time for the crows. The crows aren't going to do a ton of damage, because we're talking about some pretty heavily armored enemies here, but we may as well cast them. The Tomb Guard are good anti-large. I think we have this under control. I kind of want to just have the Carnosaur and the Legion of Chakwa straight charge the Black Knights. My only concern there is that my micro is not great, and if those Black Knights like turn around and try another angle, we might end up chasing them way out of good position. Have the salamanders take on these guys for a moment. Yep, that should be resolved pretty quickly. A nice amber spear down, and it looks like the flyers are free to engage with other enemies now that they are no longer ever going to be in danger again. Let's get over here and figure this out. My hope with these guys is mostly to be a distraction. Like, we could execute charges and stuff, and that would be fine, but what I want more than anything is to get the enemies running off in directions that don't help them to buy us time for rock setup. Didn't I tell them to back off? That's a pretty good start. Oh, the Manticore has lost its damn mind. That's fine, I think. Manticore getting over here and getting a little wild is probably good for us. Let's maybe overcast wild form in this area. It kind of feels like the AI might be a little confused about how Trickster Shard works, because it keeps casting it on units that don't have any spells. That's pretty weird. I don't know what is happening there. It might be the case that the White King is trying to get over here and fight my cavalry. But they're pretty much doing now what I was hoping they would do. Pulling attention. Alright, the Manticore is doing some fine work then. I'm not too worried about this situation. Stay on those guys. Let's just have the Carnosaur join it. I think they're about to break. Oh, he didn't do his leap. He still loves to leap at people. Very surprised by that. Alright, so cavalry can just keep running away. This in fact is a really good time for them to run back toward us. We can do this, we can just shoot some fireballs. I mean, this battle is over. Who's over here who has some rocks left? You don't have any rocks left. You didn't even bring any rocks. Here we go. Something like that. And I guess we have buffs and stuff too. I can be distributing some buffs. they're trying really hard to make that White King relevant. Unfortunately, we don't have an overcast amber spear for it. That's fine. I think it's under control. He's going to fall apart in a second here anyway, and as soon as he does, his whole army is going to follow immediately. Yep. See that? His death shattered everyone else's morale. At this point, all we have to do is keep away from them, and they're just going to fall apart on the field. Okay. We took more damage there than I was hoping. Yeah, we lost a couple of Star Chamber Guardians. Still, I think we should be in a position here where we can attack this castle. But they have a lot of units, and they have some Vargulfs and stuff, but they don't have anything that's dangerous to the Flyers, and against this army, that's maybe even a bigger deal than it is against the others. Because that means our hero can expend all of his ammunition safely, and I would say that the actual flying units in this army are less effective than the flying units in the other armies, because we have some normal Caradon Riders in here. When we finish this quest and we get our Blessed Spawning available, I'm not sure that I'll replace them, because they do have 9 veterancy ranks now, and that's like... we're talking about a lot of points of stats there. Also, the other armies might need it more. With this army having... not even really Tiktaq'to, but Roxburgh and the Carnosaur, I think they're under control. They've got it locked down. They don't need the help. Come on, we were just looking at the campaign map. You remember. Okay, let's definitely take the heal. These vampire armies carry a lot of money with them. Enables poison attacks. Okay, that's not really that great. It has a good name, but not really that great of a trait. Trying really hard to click on the settlement, but my hero is in the way. Okay. Let's do this. I think we're probably not going to want to take over. Let's go and, yeah, try to assassinate a White King. I think we're not going to engage in another one of these big battles this episode. Let's get everybody moved around and in position to fight, though. Over here, those guys are still in the water. So I'm going to go into ambush mode outside the city. We'll see what happens. I don't really want to engage them in the water. I'd like to fight them on land with the help of the city garrison, ideally. Okay, so I think we're good. Is Krukgar the last person who needs to move? I'm not 100% sure whether I want him to engage that army. Apparently I missed some out, leveling up. Yeah, sure. Missile resistance could be useful. And then we have a hero left. Uldum Warren could try throwing down on that hero as well. But he's worse at assassinating, and the guy is on guard because he knows we're trying to kill him now. So maybe the right play for you is just to back off this way. Yeah, maybe try to kill this White King. Still pretty bad odds, actually. Oh yeah, because he's level 40. Well, maybe you want to stay away from him then. Can't try to damage the walls over here. I guess... yeah, just like do something safe. All we really want for Uldum Warren is more XP at this point. Okay, look at that. He's doing it. He's out there and he's living the dream. Okay, I think that is, unfortunately, all we have time for today, but Carrick Cadron and Schwarzhofen both falling next episode. We're going to be fighting an awful lot of vampires in a very short time at the beginning of the next episode, so come back for that, and we'll see you then.